The question is, at what point do you really need Byron Buxton? And so the question came up. I saw people upset on Twitter, and they were saying, man, I wish he could come in and just get a big hit for him. You know, movie star type stuff, TV series type stuff. Game's close, guy hasn't played all game. You look at what was that, Mr. 3000. And so he was trying to get 3,000. And he wasn't playing in certain games because he wanted to hit 3,000, in front of his home crowd. And, going, I forgot what happened, but basically he ended up only getting to 299 or something, 2,999 hits in the movie. That is, there was a big discrepancy about one of his actual hits, blah, blah. And, he's trying to become Mr. 3000, but he accepts the 2,999, like they took one away from him. Then he goes back as an old dude. But the whole point is they want Buxton to be that guy. Like, why can't Buxton be prepared to come in big moments and get a big hit? You surely can't get hurt at one at bat. Now, that's the normal person. Buxton, he probably could. I mean, if he gets a big hit and he has to grind it out to get to second or grind it out to beat the run, to beat the throw at first, maybe he pulls something. Maybe he gets re-injured. I mean, he hasn't played all day. He's not warm. Now, granted, baseball players don't ever really seem warm because they're sitting around so much. They're doing nothing for so long sometimes. There's games where the left fielder doesn't touch the ball for 5 innings. So I think that's kind of my thought. My thought on the load management with Buxton. I get it. I will never discredit a coach. The one thing I don't like about load management in basketball is when stars are getting paid to, sell tickets for a certain venue. Let's just say LeBron James coming to the Timberwolves. A lot of people are buying tickets because of LeBron James and not the Timberwolves, at least in the past. Now the Timberwolves are good, so maybe they'll get more ticket sales, but people were buying to see that. People were buying to see Steph Curry. People were buying to see James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. And then all of a sudden you get the Nets, they show up, Kyrie, KD, and James Harden are all load management nights because they're like, look, it's the Timberwolves. We don't really need to play these guys. That I have a problem with. I have a problem when it's a healthy scratch just because you're like, we can get through this game without you guys. Just take the night off. Also, when they've been promoting it, like it's supposed to be an ESPN game, and then LeBron doesn't play. And now we got to watch a bunch of, whoever's play on national TV, Lakers versus Celtics, but we're getting, the back end deal of guys. And it's like, why sell that? Why, like, tell ESPN earlier, flex that game out, and let's get some competitive basketball on the TV with some stars. And that's the only issue. Baseball, I don't see it because no matter who's in, it doesn't matter. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's not like people are buying tickets to see Byron Buxton when he travels. I do have a problem with him not being ready to go in that big moment. I think, and it's not on him. It's on his coach. He's not putting him in. He can't just sub himself in and say, hey, coach, let me get this hit to win this game. But I do think that needs to be considered down the stretch. If you are going to rest him, maybe have that mental awareness and that wherewithal to say, hey, Byron, if this is a close game, we need you to be able to come in and pinch hit. You have a big bat. You're an explosive hitter. We are going to get you in at some point to bat for somebody to win this game for us. Now, that is a mindset going forward. I don't think they maybe even thought they'd be in that position. I don't think they thought that would actually be something. And maybe they did. And they're like, look, I don't want them to get hurt. Like, this is a long season. It's only 35 games in. We got a lot more to go. We have a healthy, comfortable lead right now. I mean, now, unless you just completely, these next 11, you just wet the bed and you lose it. That's the only way you're going to give up that lead to the Guardians. So that's my thought. I don't disagree with it, but I do think there needs to be some kind of formula figured out for big moments like that. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I get that they want Byron Buxton available in the pennant chase in September, October. But I also think it's a fallacy to say that the games now don't matter just as much. I mean, if you bank up wins now, those count the same. And Byron Buxton, unlike any player on this roster, gives you the best chance to win those games. So it comes back just to a philosophical question. And you, Ron, probably have a good perspective on this because you're an athlete. What do athletes owe us in terms of playing through pain, playing through injury? Do they owe us anything? Do they owe us a little bit? Because they're well paid. The fans pay money, like you mentioned, to see them play. So how much does playing through pain account for what they're required to do? And I think that, the Twins brass, their management says, we don't expect our guys to have to gut through like a bad knee. Like, we want them to play at 100%. We want them to play at their best. And it's hard to disrespect that kind of mindset. But there are a lot of players that want to. There are a lot of players that want to play, hurt or try to gut it out. And I don't know the correct answer. I don't know what the players owe us or anybody, in terms of being on the field when they're not their best.
Yeah, I would say it's money. So this is the thing. If you're a young guy, you haven't gotten that big contract yet, and you're hurt, not injured, you're hurt. And I always get this one confused, but people always, are you hurt or you're injured? To me, I'm like, it's the same thing. But if you just have some general soreness or some minor pain, but it could get worse, and you want to come back 100% because you're working for that contract, I'm not against a young guy protecting himself, because you see guys like, let's say Kevin Durant, tear your Achilles and you don't have the money. They can absolutely stonewall you when it comes to negotiating that next signing or that next contract. Teams are questioning, should we sign this guy? Look at the NFL guys like Juice Landry. He just signed with the Saints today, or this week or this weekend. But, when you're hurt or you're injured and you're on the, out in the open market, people question, like, is this like Odell Beckham? People question, like, is this guy going to be ready to go? Now, Odell Beckham, we've seen the house, we've seen the money. He's gotten contract after contract. Team after team wants him. So it's okay. But some guys don't have that star power. They don't have that ability to be able to just say, hey, if I'm hurt, I'm still going to get the money. There's only a few guys that can do that and garner that attention from an organization to say, yeah, I don't care. But there's other guys, you got to protect yourself. You owe us nothing. You owe the fans nothing if you're hurt, because nobody knows what you're playing through. They just can assume and sit back with their beer, their hot dog, and say, man, this guy's soft. Like, I remember when guys would play with bullet wounds and stab wounds and, a guy who just got out of a car accident, he's going out there playing. Yeah, no, that's not the right way to do it, because we've seen guys now have mental issues for that reason, playing through certain injuries, not mentally being able to come back from it. A knee is nothing to play with. One bad step and it's even worse, and you're going to tear something else up. And that's the key. Let the staff, let the training staff and the x-rays tell him exactly what's wrong, and then let him mentally get back. Because when you're mentally 100%, you can tell a player's playing it as all. When he's not, you're kind of hobbling, you're second guessing yourself. You're not going after certain balls. You're not willing to dive for an outfield pop fly that, is in the hole. There's a lot of things that come with playing through pain that you lose in a player. And then people are questioning, is this guy good enough? Why is he not playing as hard? Why? Like, he's a shell of himself. Players owe us nothing, man. I say, you know what? If you're hurt, rest up, come back 100%, because same thing. If they want to cut you, they'll cut you whenever they want, and then you have no money to show for it. So I'm all for it.